Hello and welcome to another video, and this is part 3 of the van conversion video series. So obviously in the last one we got quite far and I managed to build most of the construction of the kitchen unit and the side panel and the little seat. So yeah, it's going pretty well. So now we're going to advance it forward a bit more, and the first thing I'm going to do is actually put in a tambour door, which is going to be really cool for the main cupboard. I've always wanted a tambour door, and hopefully it's nice and easy. Looks pretty easy. Let's see if it is. And then by the end of the video, hopefully we'll have the worktop in. So keep watching to the end, because that's going to be a bit of a challenge. I think I can see a few bits that are going to be a bit difficult, and yeah, so watch the very end and hopefully we'll have a worktop in and loads of extras all kind of done to the kitchen unit and whatnot. So yeah, let's get straight into it, and let's start with the tambour door. So here's the space that my tambour door's got to fit into. It's obviously like the main cupboard. There's not much room inside, so a traditional tambour door for campervan seems to use like a spiral system where it all gathers up into a spiral, but I want to use a slimline one. I tried to find one with just tracks and a 90-degree bend. I'll show you in a second what I mean. I managed to find one from a place called Campervan, so let's take a look at the pack that came and see what's inside the box. So as you can see inside the box, there is the tambour door itself and a pack of tracks, which I'll show you in a second. But the tambour door, I purposely chose this one because it's matte black. Looked everywhere, there seemed to be just gloss black, which I just did not like at all. And like I say, this seemed to be the only place that you could get this track system where it had a 90-degree bend. So let's take a look at those. So I'll just throw them all over the floor. Yeah, good work there, Ian. So this is the track. Obviously the tambour door just runs in the track, and with mine we're going to go up and round a 90-degree bend and across the top, and that's as simple as it is. These are really easy to install, super duper simple. Sometimes it's easy just to drill, just get straight on with it, don't bother using clamps. Okay, clamps would be a good idea. Okay. So as you can see, I've got my track installed. It goes up the front, through the 90-degree bend and across the top. The next thing I need to do is to shorten the tambour door because it's a touch too long. As you can see, I've got a mark, and I'm just going to do this on my oscillating belt sander. So I've got it all taped up just to keep all the slats together and keep it all nice and even. Now, even though I'm doing this on the belt sander, you can use just a normal saw apparently. It'll just saw straight through. It's just really thin plastic. It's not very difficult. So now that I've got it trimmed down to the correct width, I've just got to get the right length now. Now I'm just going to quickly test to see how easy it is to take one of the slats out, and oh, it is incredibly easy to do. So I've already made a mark to see how many I need to remove, and this will allow it to just sit perfectly. When it's pushed right to the top, it'll just hit that back wall and then stop, and this will be ideal. So the next thing I've got to do is actually clean everything, because it is absolutely filthy after all the sanding. It's got tons of black like plastic dust everywhere. So now we get to see if the tambour door actually fits in. And ooh, it does, and that is satisfying. Nice. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So even though I could sit there all day just opening and closing that tambour door, I've got to move on, and we're going to put the little handle onto the cooker slider drawer. So now before I fit it, I've just got to get rid of all of the pencil marks, and normally I'd use my My Little Pony rubber, but the only one I could find today was my rainbow one, so that has to do. So now we've got to turn our attention to the side panel, and I'm starting to build out the cupboard inside. As you can see, I've got a temporary piece in there, which is kind of like my template for the side of the cupboard. But what I need now is actually some holes in the front of this, and I've been putting this off, but I think the time's come. Let's cut some holes in it and create those cupboards on the side. I've already drawn out the outline of the doors that I want, so let's not delay. Let's get the jigsaw and let's get cutting. So I've put the panel in just to see what it looks like. As you can see, there's the little door down there. That one there. Look, cupboard is appearing. I've got the side panel in there. That's cut into the side. I've just been messing about with this bit here, and it's starting to fit a little bit better now. I feel like it might need to be a new piece, and it's just because there's that gap, but I've got to screw everything together. I'm not going to make any of the new bits until I've completely sorted it. What I'm going to do next actually is I'm thinking of just going to make a cardboard template so I can put a shelf. So the shelf is going to go about here, I think, just to make this as big a cupboard as possible. This bottom cupboard is just going to be a real tiny little one, just for stuffing little bits in, but I think that'll be fine. So yeah, so I'm just going to make a cardboard template and see if I can get that in there. And well, speak of the devil, there's a cardboard template. So that's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to transfer that now to some of the nice wood and get that cut out. So just cut the board to the same length as my paper template. Whoopsie. So it's the same as that. Now I've just marked out the cutouts that I need to do. Hopefully, well, this will fit. Cupboard looks good. Cool. Oh God, the inspector's here. Is everything all right? Anyway, I think it's going to be a pretty decent sized cupboard. You can just imagine putting stuff in there, shoving a loaf of bread in there. So I'm going to put some, maybe put a panel back there just to hide all that stuff. You could just sit against those bits there, and then it'll just meet up and it'll be all capped off. Just maybe a little bit round here. Obviously I've got to put something in there just to stop anything falling out, but I reckon that looks all right. So I take the whole piece back out of the van again, and I actually make a new side piece so the cupboard looks the same all the way around, and get everything screwed together. I also have got to make a top piece there, which is why there's a bit looks like it's missing. But we'll quickly turn the attention to the doors now, and as you can see here, I've got some hinges which I've sprayed black. They were kind of a dark grey, but so it didn't really match it, so spray in black, and now we can move on to the doors. So I actually forgot to film the making of the doors themselves. It was a bit frustrating, it was a bit difficult to actually get them right, so I was just concentrating on getting it as right as I could do. And then the hinges, my god, these were another level entirely. Didn't go that well. They're all right in the end, so this is kind of a short montage, and then you'll just see them working. But yeah, bit of a pain. So as you can see, I've now got the door installed and it's looking okay. I think that's actually turned out not too bad. It was a bit of a pain, but hey, I've got there in the end. So I've got to move on now, and we're going to look now at the worktop. So I'm pretty excited about this bit. As you can see here, I have an entire table. I bought this off Facebook Marketplace. It cost me £50, and it's an extendable table. I've got the exact same table in my house, so I knew exactly how big it was. So this table actually has 3 leaves to it because it was an extendable table, so I've got plenty of wood to work with. So first thing to do is let's take it to pieces. Okay, so I'm now thinking about chopping these down a bit. I've measured the space in the van, and I think I've come up with a plan with this. It's quite hard to see on that side, but obviously I've got to get rid of these bits. I don't need them, obviously. Chop down, there's going to be a little groove, but I was going to fill it in and stick some extra wood on, but it's going to be at the side of the cabinet where you're not going to see it, and when I've actually stained it, I just don't think you'll see them. I don't need to worry too much about it. If you do, I'll fill them in and do it at that point, but I'm going to try and keep the most out of this table, so I'm thinking of chopping that bit off there, and then I'll basically effectively be chopping it down here somewhere, and then curving in, and then this will then have another bit stuck on it to create the rest of the worktop. So it's all going to be one piece, hopefully, when it's all done. But the first thing to do is to chop them bits off, because I don't need them, and get it as close down there as possible. Cool, and I'm going to sand it all down, and then I'm going to put a stain on it, I think, which I'm waiting to actually turn up. So got to map out the rest of it now. Right, I'll draw some stuff on it. So the first thing I do is make a cardboard template of like that kind of pillar shape, because the worktop is going to go sit right up against the glass, so you've got to cut that bit out, and yeah, hopefully this goes all right. That's the wrong way round, Ian, so that's a good start. So I'm blissfully unaware here at this point of a mistake that I'm about to make, so just keep watching and see if you can spot my horrendous mistake. Okay, so chop that out. It's gone really well. What a nice looking cut. It's followed the line perfectly. Only problem is, yeah, it should have been on that corner, not that corner. What a plonker! What a bloody idiot! I was so excited to cut it out, I just didn't even think about the orientation. The reason why is because this is the edge that I want in the front, because it's not damaged, it's fine. And this one, where I've cut it, has got these little notches on, which I want to just hide away at the back. No problem. Luckily, I've got a spare piece. Luckily, I've got a whole other one here, so I'll just have to use that one. Right then, let's go for take 2, shall we? So what I'm doing here is actually scalloping out the back of where I've just cut, because the pillar is curved. If you didn't scallop it out, it would sit about 1 centimetre away from it. So scalloping it out, and then it can sit nice and tight against that pillar. So as you can see, I've taken away a lot of the material behind where I cut, and that will allow it to sit nice and tight against the pillar. So let's test it in the van and see what it looks like. So it's looking pretty good. I think that's a decent enough fit. I don't need it any better than that, so I'm pretty happy with that. So we can move on to the next part. Okay, I have remarked the tabletop. As you can see, I had my original line there, and it's actually come down this way a little bit and come out this way. Good job, I tested it all again. I've just chopped off the end bit. I think I'm about there. It seems to be the same width as what it used to be, roughly. So it's nearly 47, oh, nearly bang on 47 centimetres. So that's exactly what I had before, which is good. So I'm just going to chop it and we'll see. So I'm just going to take that bit off there. Okay, so I'm just chopping to there, just so it give me a nice straight line for most of it, and then I'll use the jigsaw just for the last bit. So I encounter yet another problem with this worktop, so wait for it. Yeah, it's about to happen. Oh, so something's going on there. You can see all the smoke coming out, so let's have a look and see what's gone wrong. I hit a knot, that's why it's all gone a bit. Oh god. I can imagine that's just going to fall out and it's going to be a bit of a disaster. On the top, it's not there. Okay, I'm going to drill. That's what I'm going to do. Right, managed to cut the hole in it, so it's kind of near the radius. It's got a bit on this side, so that's better. Cut this out, yeah, and then we'll round it off on that thing. Right, managed to take it off, but as you can see, the knot is right here, so hopefully I'll be all right, and I can just round this off and sand this back. It'll look nice, I think, but that is a nightmare to go through that. That's so thick. I couldn't do the radius bend, you see, look, you can just see it all burnt there. Got this tabletop. Luckily, my belt sander has this bobbin feature, so you can put these cylindrical sanding discs on it, and yeah, it can make the radius corners nice and crisp. Ooh, it's getting closer. So, yeah, I kind of smashed up the edge of that, but it'll be fine. It's always something. Yep, so I've got to make up the last bit here and glue it onto there, just onto this last bit here, and I've created this kind of template here. You can see it fits around there. Didn't quite get it right on this bit, so I've added a bit of cardboard. So that's the shape we're looking for. Yeah. Let's see if this works. I've cut the actual shape out, but it's just trying to get more stuff out the back so it will actually fit in. So just done a bit more and getting closer to where I need to be. Let's go put it in the van and let's have a look. That is fitting in. Obviously it's a bit long on here, but I can sort that out at the end. I just got to glue the two bits together now. Right, let's do that. Okay, I'm now gluing. I've glued the two bits together. I don't really have a proper place to glue things. I don't have clamps long enough, so I've just pushed it together, kind of hammered it a little bit, put some tape on it. Don't know if that's going to work. In fact, I can feel it kind of rising up a little bit there. Oh, I need to put something else on that. Right, I'm going to put something else on that. Okay, still waiting for the glue to dry. I've obviously Got all this bit on here just to keep it level. I have no idea if that's going to work. Could be a disaster. So now the glue's dried, I can take everything off the top and see what the joint actually looks like. Well, I think that's actually gone pretty good, better than expected. So I think time to put this in the van and give it a good test fit. Well, I'm really happy with how this is actually fitted in. I know I had a few sort of hiccups along the way, but overall, not a bad experience. Now I get on to the finishing side of things so I can sand it down and put the stain on and yeah, really bring this thing to life. So there we have it. I'm going to have to stop the video at this point, but I'm really happy with the progress so far. So the tabletop's now gone in, sorry, the worktop. It's glued up pretty nicely, even though I haven't got any long clamps, so I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, once I get sanding it down, we'll kind of find out how good that's gone, but it's good enough at the moment. That's all I'm kind of looking for. I've got to chop a little bit down, I've got to round over all the edges on it, but that's pretty cool. I'm really happy with how that's fitted actually. It's gone pretty well. I was looking at the actual width of the actual slab of wood that was on the table actually fit in here quite nicely. Otherwise I've had to chop in another piece of wood and glue another bit on the end, but luckily that's gone all right and it's given me just enough overhang to do the job. So in the next videos, so we're going to sand it all down, round over all the edges, and then we're going to stain it the colour that I'm going to go for, because at the moment I don't think that matches. I will sand it down and put it back in the van and have a look at it when it's back down to just like raw pine, see what that looks like, but judging by it, I just don't think it's going to look right. So I think the stain I've got is going to work perfectly. So there's going to be quite a bit of treatment to do to the worktop, and obviously I've got to cut in the sink. So I've got all the bits ready. I've got like the sink, and I've got to fit the kind of waste outlet and everything. And yeah, that should be pretty cool as well. So there's quite a lot to do. There's still more to do yet to this, and I'm hoping these next sort of bits though are kind of get it towards its final touches, and then can start getting all the electrical stuff worked out. That'd be pretty cool. Can't wait. I'm really quite excited to get it all done now. Yeah, God, it's really coming together. So these kind of final bits are really kind of exciting. So yeah, so hopefully we're going to really start to see this whole project come together in the next sort of video or so. And yeah, so hopefully you'll join me in those and see where this goes. And yeah, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.